Hello, my name is Hannah Turlington and I'm a printmaker. I live in Thornton in North Yorkshire and I work from my home studio. So I'm a printmaker, a designer and a teacher. My work is split into three different parts. I create liner prints for exhibitions and art fairs, which is my own personal work, and my personal work focuses around life stories, so be they my life story or the life stories of other people. I'm a designer, so I do my own design work for home interiors and skirts, but also I do design work for small businesses, be it branding or fabric design. I'm a teacher as well. I've been a teacher for 21 years. I trained as a primary school teacher and done an awful lot of work with special needs, but now I run workshops about lino printing, using lino printing in lots of different ways. The process that I go through in my work always starts with an illustration, and then that illustration is traced and then transferred onto a lino block. The current size that I'm working on is an A2 size, and this for me is the size that I'm really comfortable with. So I'll show you some of my work. All of my work starts with an illustration, so this is one of my most recent pieces of work. I haven't named it yet, but I think it's obvious what it is. It is just a response to what everybody is doing at the moment, April 2020. So this is my initial illustration for my work. I then create a tracing, which is like that. So then I use that tracing to transfer onto the block. This is my block. So when you're tracing it in reverse, and so you're carving in reverse, which becomes a little bit more difficult if you've got lettering and things like that. However, in this piece I haven't. So when I'm doing this, I always make an initial test print. With this, I haven't got any further than doing a test print at this stage, because it's such a big block. I really need the facility of a press, and being at home at the moment I haven't got one. So this is my final print. I'm not going to make any sort of alterations to it because I'm quite happy with the way it is. But all of my work starts like this, and this is something like that. This piece of work can take 40 hours to do. That includes the illustration, the carving, and getting the print right as well. The work that I was going to share at the Open Studios was my most recent body of work that I've got framed up. These are my artist proofs, where I sort of experiment with colour and things like that. But this is a piece called Holding. This series of work is available on my website to buy. I always print in editions of 5, especially when it's work like this. So again, this piece of work, even though it's slightly smaller, it's 30 by 30 centimetres, it can still take 30 hours to complete that, especially when you're doing hands and all those details like that. So this one's Holding. This is Emerging. This is a self-portrait of me looking in the mirror. This one's called Gone. This one's Broken. And this one's Hiding. I've got here in this one, these are peonies, and here I've got my printing shoes on that I wear when I come out to my studio. I do sometimes wear them elsewhere, but yeah, they are my printing studio. This one is Lost, and it was taken. I always create a composition from each of my pieces of work. This was taken on a piece of waste ground on a footpath not far from where I live, but it really does kind of signify the loss of an item, loss of somebody that you love. It's quite an emotive piece, really. And then this one is holding. This is part of the same series, so this is together. So this is an A2 piece of work. I'll just give you a little tour of my studio. I always like to have some work out, the work that I'm currently working on, or the work I'm going to sort of stay working in that work stream in around. My pigeon was one of my first ones that I did, and actually it's my business logo now. So I have here little mini prints that I'm working on. The ones along the top are a series of heritage tools that I'm working on for the Helmsley Wall Garden, and underneath are arable seed heads from rare arable seeds. And I tried to do a print of the month, something just quite pretty. So hellebore is obviously like the April response, because we've got some growing in the garden. And I did a commission for a company in Scarborough all around pollen, and that's one of the pieces that I did for it. So I like to collect lots of different things in my studio, be they bits of wood, keys, rocks, snail shells. If I go away, I'll always collect like packaging and tins, because they're really interesting. We have bees, so those are queen cells from our hive, and those are the natural form sort of features really heavily in the work that I do. So this is just one of my most recent pieces of work that I've got sitting on the table, and I've just done a test print for. Yeah, so I've just got lots of different sorts of things here. This is an initial print of one that I did in January, and I haven't printed it properly yet. So I'm slowly building up a body of work for hopefully exhibiting at Art in York in October. This will be the second year exhibiting there. Last year I was part of their Raw Talent scheme, and this time I'm there as a professional artist. So I'm slowly building up pieces of work to have ready to show there, and this is one of them. The story behind this is that I took up running about 4 years ago, after swearing blind that I'd never ever sort of run again in my life, after having an awful incident and the 800 metres at secondary school. But so I do it, and I use it as a way to collect inspiration, gather thoughts, sort of come up with ideas for new pieces of work as well. And this is just about having the courage to put those trainers on and go out there and do it. This is a piece of work that I did in a response to, I suppose, International Women's Day, really, but that's sort of been and gone, hasn't it? But for me, this is just about, maybe it's the contents of a handbag, maybe it's just about what women are sort of weighed down by, every month, every day of their lives, and those things that sort of burden us. But anyway, yeah, this is just a piece that'll probably go into Art in York. It's not, you know, I don't envisage it going on anybody's walls or anything, but it's just something that I felt was an important thing to do. Not only do I tell my stories in my original Lino prints, but I also use them to create fabric design as well. And my recent venture has been to use fabric to make skirts, handmade in North Yorkshire. I work with a local designer, and between us we came up with a design for the skirt, and we used my pollination fabric to make gorgeous skirts using 100% hop sack cotton, which is actually an upholstery material. My skirts are unique because they all come with different coloured slips and different coloured long velvet trims, as you can see on the photographs. They are really special. They're something to be worn for fabulous occasions, or actually just for going into town. I always like to wear mine with a denim jacket and a pair of trainers. So yeah, they're on my website, available to buy as well. So if you fancy having a look at those, I do work with a local designer who hand makes all of them to order. We worked together to come up with the skirt and pattern and how it was all going to work. So have a look and see what you think on my website. Thank you very much for listening and watching my mini virtual open studio tour. It's the studio's not looking as tidy as it should be at the moment, as it would be had we be doing actual open studios. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing the work that I'm currently working on. I do tend to work a lot in indigo. I am developing different colours in the background and things like that. So I'm using this period of time to do that. I am hopefully going to be at Art in York, all being well. So I will have my new body of work to show there. You can visit me at my website at hannahturlington.com and sign up to my mailing list. Also, I'm on Instagram at Hannah Turlington Art. You will find me on Facebook as well at Hannah Turlington. And I have got some of my smaller products, more of my mugs and notebooks and things like that in my Etsy shop, which again is Hannah Turlington. If you have any questions, just please email me at info at hannahturlington.com, and I will be more than happy to share with you some of my processes, talk to you about pieces of work. And if you're interested in me doing any design work for you, then please contact me. It's been lovely having the time to do this for you, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching it. Thank you. Bye bye.